Apparently, the Chinese army has flamethrowers and they are not afraid to use them. A Chinese military newspaper has given details of a raid against suspected militants in Xinjiang province in the far west of China. The People's Liberation Army Daily said that at one point, flamethrowers were used to flush out militants hiding in a cave who were then shot at. Jose, the police tried to drive out the suspects using flash grenades, stun grenades, tear gas. They tried everything. They weren't coming out, so they said bring in the flamethrowers, and that worked. That got them out. Now, this was in response to an attack on a Chinese mine in that very province where 16 people were killed. They saw it as a terrorist attack. They vowed to find the militants who were behind it, and they did. They found the cave where they were hiding out, and they went in, guns blazing, literally, with the flamethrowers and all. I guess depending on what side you're on, this is definitely a win for the Chinese. What do you think?
I mean, this is the Chinese own conflicts with their Muslim minority. The Uighurs is the people that live in this region of China, and they were attributed this terrorist attack, as China's authorities are calling it, and then they're using that to go into a cave and pretty much exterminate this dissent that is coming from this region. This is a conflict that has been going for many, many decades, and now we see that at the same time is in a junction with a global Islamophobia and China getting involved in the problem.
Yeah, China's been cracking down on the ethnic Uyghurs for quite some time, banning, headscarves, banning the way that they dress, wanting to ban their religion and all, doing all they can. I mean, there were reports of the Chinese government going in and paying stores to sell alcohol because it's, majority Muslim area. The government was coming in and saying, hey, why don't you sell us alcohol so these people could stop being so Muslim? I mean, that we reported on those ridiculous accounts too, and they actually turned out to be true. But, you raise a good point. I mean, if we're talking about this on a global sense, I mean, China not long ago just declared war on ISIS, on what they saw as a global terrorist threat. Now, China has a vast military force, I think, to say the least. They have 2 million active personnel on the go, ready at any time. 2 million people, Jose. That is a lot. That's a lot of, that's a lot more people than the entire population of some small countries out there. 2 million active military personnel. I can't get my head around that.
Yeah, but they're really, the grounds for their involvement against ISIS are very, very light. The only thing that really, they have one, the only thing that really ties them into the conflict is the decapitation of a Chinese national in the last few weeks by ISIS. But other than that, they don't really have an interest other than their geopolitical power, getting position in the area with their association with Iran, with Russia in a global scale. But at the same time, we do see that the conflict in between Muslims and other states, it's clear and it's happening in many different levels, in many different manifestations like this one, although some of them are more historical relevant than the newer ones that are happening because of the discontrol in the Middle East.
It's true, and it's kind of ironic how China wants to get its grip on all sorts of territories that don't really want to be a part of China, whether it's this or Tibet. They deem themselves as a very multicultural society, and they are, but at the same time they want to crack down and make sure those people aren't too different, Don't be so
little bit
Muslim.
of diversity.
Yeah, just a little is okay, but don't be too much. But, it raises the question, are attacks like this on this mine, which brought this flamethrower attack in response, are these the kinds of things that are happening internally in China that are actually going to get China to start fighting ISIS along with the US-led coalition on a global scale?